Welcome to this explainer, everyone! Today we're diving deep into the ultimate buyer's guide for experiencing one of Tokyo's absolute most iconic, atmospheric culinary destinations, the famous Omoide Yokocho alleyways right in Shinjuku. If you're planning a trip to Japan, this spot is undoubtedly on your radar. But, as we're going to see, navigating it really requires a bit of insider knowledge.
Okay, picture this. Omoide Yokocho is incredibly atmospheric. It is literally everything you want from a Tokyo night out. The red lanterns, the smoke billowing out from the yakitori grills, that buzzing electric energy. But let's be real for a second. There are some immediate hurdles. You've got these tiny, shoulder-to-shoulder counters, super strict cash-only rules, and menus written entirely in Japanese with absolutely no pictures. It can be, frankly, seriously intimidating for a traveler who just wants to grab a skewer and a cold beer.
So today, we're going to break down exactly how to navigate this incredible maze. We'll look at the charm and the friction, the guided tour solution, choosing your tour type, DIY versus guided tours, accommodating every traveler, and finally, some expert booking tips. Let's jump right into Section 1, the charm and the friction, navigating alleyways. It's a total double-edged sword, right? The very things that give this place its magical, authentic charm, those tightly packed 5-seat bars and that hyper-local vibe, well, they create immediate friction for visitors. If you don't speak Japanese or, if you didn't hit the ATM for enough loose yen, you are instantly at a disadvantage. Plus, a lot of these super popular spots will literally just turn walk-ins away when they're busy. They prefer to serve their regular local clientele. It can definitely leave you feeling a bit like an outsider looking in. That brings us to Section 2, the guided tour solution, bypassing the anxiety. I absolutely love this philosophy. The value is in the friction it removes. Think about that for a second. When you book a guide for these alleys, you aren't just paying for some meat skewers and a few highballs. You're paying for seamless, completely stress-free access to a hidden world. You're essentially buying your way out of the anxiety of ordering and straight into the pure fun of the experience. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, first off, access. A guide instantly solves the access problem by securing these impossible reservations at counters that usually reject walk-ins on site. They give you the confidence to know exactly what you're eating so you aren't, accidentally ordering something you aren't quite ready for. The awkward cash scramble, totally gone. The guide settles all the tabs with the vendors while you just sit back and enjoy your drink. Plus, you get to connect with fellow travelers in a small group. And honestly, the best part? A good guide skips the camera-heavy tourist traps entirely and takes you to the off-list counters where the actual locals spend their evenings. Okay, moving right along to Section 3, choosing your tour type. Pick your perfect night. There is a specialized 2 to 3 hour format perfectly built for exactly how you like to travel. If you're all about the nightlife and making friends, a bar-hopping tour hits 3 or 4 bars over 3 hours. If your focus is strictly culinary, the food tour gets you multiple counters and dishes for around $120. Want to escape the tourist zone altogether? The izakaya crawl takes you totally off the grid for about $100. And if you're an ambitious sightseer, the broader Shinjuku night tour covers Omoide Yokocho, the famous Golden Gai, and Kabukicho all in one massive 3+ hour adventure. Now, let's talk about the number 100. $100 US. That's roughly the baseline starting price for these group tours. And I know that might sound like a bit of a premium up front, but hold on. Remember that this price bundles your drinks, multiple plates of food, the guide's translation, and those guaranteed reservations. Actually, when you tally up the cost of the skewers, the beers, and the random cover charges you'd pay trying to do it all yourself, your total lands surprisingly close to that $100 mark anyway. You're getting immense convenience for practically zero markup. Which naturally brings us to Section 4, DIY versus guided tours. Which is best for you? Look, both approaches are totally valid, but they cater to very different mindsets. The DIY traveler is thrilled by the adventure. They love pointing at mysterious menus, they don't mind carrying wads of loose yen, and they genuinely enjoy wandering without a rigid plan. If that's you, you're going to have a blast doing it solo. But if you fall into the tour traveler camp, meaning, you're short on time, maybe a bit nervous about the language barrier, and you just want the absolute best spots, curated, translated, and booked for you, then investing in a guided tour is absolutely your best bet for a flawless night out. All right, Section 5, accommodating every traveler. Needs, diets, families. There's this huge misconception that these alleys are only for adventurous meat eaters who drink heavily. That is simply not true. You just need a little planning.
Got dietary needs? Just message the operator beforehand. Most food tours can easily swap offal and meat for amazing vegetable, tofu, and tempura options. Non-drinker? No problem. Guides are totally used to arranging soft drinks or tea instead of beer. For families with kids, you'll just want to avoid the late-night bar crawls and look for earlier evening, family-friendly food tours. And here's an insider pro tip for you. If you have multiple accommodations, booking a private tour is 100% the safest bet. It gives you total customization and lets you move at your own pace.
Finally, let's hit Section 6, Expert Booking Tips. Secure your spot early.
The booking process is seriously a breeze. Step 1, pick your tour style. Step 2, choose your date and group size. Step 3, book on a platform like Get Your Guide. What's amazing here is that most of these listings offer free cancellation up to 24 hours before the tour. That means you have literally zero risk in locking down a slot early before they all sell out. And step 4, just show up hungry, meet your guide, and let them handle the whole shebang.
To really drive home why this is such a game changer, check out this thought from food and drink writer Ryo Takeda. He says, "A food tour is the best way to eat the offal and eel most visitors are too shy to order. That is how the squeamish become regulars. Having a local expert put, say, a skewer of shiryo or a piece of eel liver right in front of you and confidently explaining exactly what it is and how to eat it, it completely flips your culinary perspective. It turns a scary, daunting menu into this thrilling tasting experience."
And then, editor Claire Whitmore drops this brilliant logistical hack for us. Book the earliest evening slot you can, around 6. This is so smart. At 6 p.m., those famously cramped counters are way calmer. Your guide actually has time to chat with you and the chefs, and you don't have to fight those massive late-night weekend crowds that completely sell these tours out. Plus, a 6 p.m. tour finishes around 9 p.m., which leaves the rest of your night wide open to go explore nearby Golden Gai with your newfound confidence.
So armed with all this knowledge, knowing how the tours work, how to navigate diets, and how to just entirely bypass the friction of language barriers and cash-only spots, are you ready to conquer the alleys of Shinjuku? Booking a guide might honestly be the very best investment you make for your entire Tokyo itinerary, turning a potentially overwhelming night into the most memorable meal of your trip. And honestly, it begs a pretty big question. If this incredible, hidden culinary world can be unlocked this easily, what other secret Tokyo experiences are you walking right past? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy travels.